What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Shea Marriott from Rebirth You podcast. Make sure you tune in tonight for a wonderful conversation with Anitra Green. We're going to be talking about the journey of grief. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
It's your time to renew, rebuild, and restore. Let's go.
Happy Monday. Welcome to Rebirth. I'm your host, Shea Marriott.
And I'm your boy Eli Isabel, aka the South. Got something to say. Happy Monday, Shay.
Happy Monday.
Hey, happy Monday,
What's
Rebirth
good?
family. What's going on?
A lot, man.
There's a lot going
A
on.
lot's going on.
Woo.
First of all, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm tired, but I'm good.
Okay.
God is able.
All right. Did you go to church yesterday?
I did not. I laid around.
What?
I know. I laid around yesterday.
Wait a minute. Was it because the Cowboys? No, the Cowboys came on later. Right?
And we won. Yeah, but we. I
Okay. All right.
I have, but you know what's crazy? I haven't really been watching. I'm just.
You said you were striking, right?
Yeah, I'm not like buying the NFL ticket and all that. Like
Okay.
I'm just, if it comes on regular TV, I'm gonna watch it. If not, I'm doing other things for my Sunday.
Okay.
I'm just like I'm kind of checked out a little bit.
Okay.
I was up to 1:30 in the morning. That's when the game went off
Oh wow.
because it was an hour and a half rain delay.
Okay.
But anyway, so yeah, for enough about talking about them suckers. How are you?
I am good. I actually just came back from a wonderful retreat. Shout out to Clinicians of Color, Lisa Savage and Kim.
Okay.
Man, we had a really great time in Mexico.
You smell like vacation.
I smell like vacation.
Yeah.
Why do I still feel tired?
Oh,
That's crazy.
Did you-
I think
did you rest?
the traveling and stuff.
did you get to relax
Yeah.
over there?
I did.
Oh.
I got a chance to relax, but it was a good time. There were clinicians of color from all across the world, man. And, women coming together and just having a really good time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah. And the resort was,
Where were you at?
oh my God.
What part of Mexico?
Right outside of Cancun.
Okay.
Playa del something.
Playa del.
Yeah, that.
I was about to say Del Rey, but that's in California.
Whatever. But the resort was beautiful, absolutely beautiful until.
Oh boy.
So over these places, there are animals and creatures. They look
They're
different.
free. They walk around freely.
They walk around freely, absolutely. So we were headed back to our room, and it was dark. And we was just talking. And see, I'm a person. I'm very aware of my surroundings. Excuse me. I'm always looking around, and just so happened. So right in front of our room, there's an open area. And there was like a poles, and then there's like a glass there. And I happened to look up, and I seen something crawling down the pole like this. Yo, I screamed so loud. I'm having issues with my back, right? I ran and was I tried to grab Lisa.
Oh, you ran. You took off.
Oh, yeah, I took off. I was running in somebody else's room. Yeah, it was like that. Bro, this thing was so creepy. And I didn't know what it was. I didn't know how to describe it. So Lisa thought it was a sloth. And then she was like, well, is it a monkey? I'm like, Lisa, that was not a monkey.
The monkey rat.
A monkey rat, right? So we later found out that it is an animal that they have in Mexico called the cootie.
The cootie.
Cootie. It was a cootie.
And what species is it related to?
A raccoon.
A raccoon. Okay.
But it was the ugliest raccoon I ever seen.
So it's a rodent.
Oh my God.
That's a rodent. I think that's a rodent.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
So,
and they're common. Very
common. And they were just like around, like they were vacating there. Yeah.
Man, give me a possum.
Yeah. It was very, I thought it was a sloth at first, right? But not that it would have made it any better, but
we don't see sloths every day.
No. I'm gonna show you a picture of it.
Oh, you took a picture.
Look, I looked it up because I needed to know what it was. But yeah, so that was the only thing. It kind of freaked me out. So it was funny because one night we were walking back, and then after that happened, and I said, Lisa, you're gonna have to leave me because I'm closing my eyes. So I walked around like I was blind until she got me in a room.
Damn. Oh, it was like that.
So shout out to my girl Lisa Savage.
What up, Lisa?
She made sure that I was okay, and we had a great time. It was a good time.
That's good.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a good trip. Meanwhile, I'm just on the little six-story rooftop downtown.
Oh, you went to the Coin, right? Or
I went to the Coin.
It's the Coin. That's what it's
It's
called.
the Coin.
How
yeah.
is it there?
It's very For here, it's pretty fly.
Mhm.
Now you've been to rooftops at other places, you're like,
Mhm.
but it's it's pretty cool though for here.
I still haven't
For
made it
here,
there.
it's
I
pretty
gotta
cool.
go.
You didn't go
Okay.
that night after the.
I was sick. Remember?
Oh
I was sick.
yeah.
Yeah, I went home.
Nah, it's pretty fly. It's
Yeah.
it's pricey, but they're trying to
Mhm.
create an ambiance. I get it.
Okay.
I get it. A little date
Okay.
night for you and Shan. It'll be
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
gotta
yeah,
check it
yeah.
out. We all
Check it
should
out,
try to
man.
pop up. Yeah.
For sure.
All right, guys. So again, welcome to Rebirth Podcast. If you have not done so already, please like, share, and subscribe. Tonight, we're actually going to be talking about grief coming up. But before we get there, the South has something to say.
Yes, sir. All right, what up, family? I want to get into just a little something. We're on the tail end of homecoming. Well, it's the beginning of homecoming season, but we're on the tail of it here in our state where we are with our local HBCU. So prior to homecoming this past weekend, there was a bunch of events and stuff that have been established the last, I'm gonna say, probably four years maybe. They've had HBCU week here in the city of Wilmington. Stephen A. Smith from ESPN is a very big part of this event. And so one of the events that they have is they have a college day
Mm.
where kids can come in and you can just talk to different schools, check them out. You can even enroll right there on the spot. There's scholarship money there for you to take advantage of. If you have like my kid went and she showed up with her whatever with her transcript.
Mm-hmm.
And so she had a couple of people that were very interested. She did some paperwork. She got some people off her 8K, 9K, just different little things like that.
Yeah.
Very positive event for our youth. But one of the things I noticed when I was driving her up there, like it was jam packed. And the line was like ridiculous, and the traffic was slow going in. And as we're going in, I ended up letting her out so she could hop in line with her friends. But as we were going in, I looked at some of the kids that were there, some of the boys that were there, and you know how you can see people and you can tell you're not going to college.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not quite sure why you're here, other than maybe to talk to girls or to create problems. And this is the thought I had in my head. I swear I did. As I'm looking at these guys with the ski mask on and all,
Oh,
like,
wow.
why are you
Okay.
in line at the HBCU at this event?
Yeah.
At this college event with all that nonsense on.
Right.
So I kind of knew then, but I'm like, all right, security's gonna be crazy. There's a million people here, the cops are here. Cool. So 45 minutes into this event, these kids start fighting. To the point where the event got shut down. From my understanding, one kid was stabbed.
Oh my
No,
God.
that's not okay. I was told that the kid got stabbed. I heard my kid told me that she saw several people that had guns. No one fired a weapon. But these are people that are all 18 and under.
Wow.
And so for such an awesome and positive event to be ruined, and it's for us, it's for our children.
Right.
And I know we like to go off and blame other people for our woes and our issues. This had nothing to do with anybody but us and parenting or lack thereof. And I know on this show we talk about parenting a lot, and we talk about I'm even the first to say I know parents, it's hard to pass on something that wasn't given to you. But at what point, like I work with little kids and I already see some of these little people 5 years old. They're gonna be those kids because parents come in today and they are mad at us for trying to correct their child.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes, I said this a couple of weeks ago, we have people, a football or a basketball coach can curse at their kid, fuss them out, yell at them, but a teacher try to correct them and it's a problem. We are ass backwards in our culture in many ways, but parenting is definitely one of them. I don't know how this is going to be turned around. I want to say we have a lot of young parents, and their mom wasn't there. These parents that were born in the 90s, I'm going to say mid 80s to early 90s that are now, 30-year-olds with 10-year-olds, and these parents, and not just them, but I think we have to find a way to come together and to each one teach one, and it does take a village. It truly does. I know I have a team around, and Shay is a part of that. I have a team around my daughter,
Mm-hmm.
And you have people around your boys. Like we don't do that anymore. And if our children are exposed to adults, most of the time they're not positive people who are trying to teach them anything.
Yeah.
So when you go to correct a young person, you may get cursed out or you may end up having a fight. Like I can't even fathom fighting an adult
Hmm.
when I was a kid. Even if I was bigger than you and I thought I could beat you, you were an adult. I would never
Right.
even think about that. We have to get back to where we were years ago because it worked.
Yeah.
Because like again, this was an event for us by us to benefit our children, and we're there fighting.
Yeah.
Like parents, please, I implore you, I beg of you, like we have to do better, and it has to start young. By the time they're 12, forget about it. You can't start parenting at 12.
Yeah.
You got to start parenting damn near out the womb today, because this world is so crazy. So I don't know,
It's
like
sad.
like I know people are gonna say, well, it's every race. No, I'm not worried about every race because I'm worried about the people who look like me in this moment in time because
Right.
we have to do better. Like I don't know. It's really
Yeah.
frustrating. I was so disappointed and hurt upon when she called me and said, "Dad, these people are fighting. There's cops everywhere. It's going crazy." And I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, so parents, please let's just do better. So I don't really know what the solution
Yeah.
is, but we have to do better, man.
I agree. I mean, when I saw the video, I just I was sad. It really made me sad to see that because here is something that is, like you said, is it's for us by us,
Yeah,
and it's to support, further your education. And this is an exciting time for a lot of kids,
yeah.
and even the kids that were there and was on their best
Hmm.
behavior. That moment
It
was
affects
ruined for
them.
them.
It was
Yeah,
ruined for them.
absolutely, that moment
Exactly.
was ruined for them. So I don't know, man. We just got to keep praying and doing the work, and pray that God changes some things with our children, with our youth,
I'm
because it's
gonna say that it's
crazy.
got to start with the parents. I
Absolutely.
mean, because if they're jacked up, the kid's gonna be jacked up, and
Absolutely.
and I don't know. It's just sad,
Yeah.
and it further it makes me. Hella said, "Dad, I know what you mean now when you say." She said, as this is going on around me, I was like, I know what my dad means when he says, I love black people, but I hate niggas.
No.
She said, in that very moment, she was like, this is
She
how
understood.
I felt. She said, this is exactly, I know what my dad means right
Right,
now.
right.
And it's sad though. Like, why we
Yeah.
got to act up? And
Yeah.
even and we're going to move forward. But I'm thinking to myself, even as a 17-year-old me, teenage boy, I'm in a
Mhm.
place with all these girls. You're gritting on another dude.
Mhm.
All these pretty girls there at 17, you're in there trying to fight? Like, what are you mad about?
Yeah.
It's the equivalent of dudes fighting in the strip club. Like, bro, you in here fighting?
Right.
You're here looking at another dude, all this going on the stage, and you want to fight him.
Mhm.
What the hell is wrong with us?
Yeah. And obviously they plan to do this, right? If they're coming
Had to
here
be. You
with
come there.
guns and ski masks and all of that stuff.
Well, we live
So
in a small town. It's not hard.
yeah.
It takes 10 minutes you can ride a bike from the east side to the west side. This ain't
Mhm.
New York. This ain't
Mhm.
Philly. It ain't hard to run up on the people that hey, meet us here.
Yeah.
This is not hard. So I don't know why we have to act out like that in a public setting and embarrass your family. Like when you out in public, you should be representing your last name.
Right.
And we don't do
Absolutely.
that all the time. But that's all the South got to say
Absolutely.
tonight. I'm frustrated and angry about that.
Oh, Leatrice Birds, I may have said your name wrong. I apologize. But she says it does take a village to raise children. It absolutely does. Thank you for tuning in tonight. All right, guys. So thanks, Eli. I know you got frustrated, and it is frustrating, especially as with us therapists is out here doing the work and trying to make a difference. And
Yeah.
I think that's the hard part with working with children, because we're putting band-aids on there
Yeah.
if the parents are not on board
That's all we're
with
doing.
it,
We're putting a
right?
band-aid on a broken arm.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, guys. So on a lighter note,
Sorry.
we have a guest that I would like to introduce. She has been on a Rebirth before, but this time she is coming back as a new author with her new book, and we are excited to have her. Welcome to the Rebirth, Anitra Green, LCSW. Hi, Anitra.
Hey, Anitra.
Hi.
How are
Welcome.
Good to
you?
be back. Thank you for having me today. This is my first public appearance as an author. I'm excited.
All right
All right,
now.
girl.
That's good. That's good. So, Anitra, please introduce yourself to our people and those of you that do know her. You probably know that she is a therapist, but now she's an author. So, please tell the people about you.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I am Anishra J. Green. I like to use my middle initial. And I am a therapist who's been working with children for over 25 years. And I'm new to being an author, but I'm excited because I get a chance to share my passion about grief and supporting children in a different way. I am from Chester, PA. Shout out to my hometown. And I
Okay.
am Delaware native. So, of course, I've been in Delaware for the last 15 to 17 years. And I'm happy to be here tonight to talk about my new book.
Thank you, Anitra. Now, you've done a lot of work in with grief, right? That's your specialty.
Yes, that's my
Okay.
specialization.
Okay. So what why now with the book? What led to this moment?
So, actually, I've always wanted to write a book, and I never knew what I was going to write about. And in the
Okay.
pandemic, it became clear to me as I opened up my mental health practice in 2021 that I needed to make the book about grief. And then the question was, but for who?
Hmm.
So, I finally, after working with children for 20 years and thinking about the lack of conversation with children, it was then that I began to come up with the idea. And I really, want to thank God for that because I was going to start with teenagers, and then I just felt at looking at my career, where does the questions from grief come from? It really comes from parents of younger children. And so in order to be resourceful, I started saying, who's not talking about grief? And I really feel like it's the younger children who are being kept out of conversations. And it's not intentional. I think parents don't know what to say to younger children. They're very literal. And death is complicated. It's a complex topic. And so how do you make it concise? How do you have this conversation? So I finally
Right.
say, okay, let me take it back to the younger children because I definitely feel like, especially that I work in a K to 4, I've been in a K to 4 for the last 3 years. I'm noticing that a lot of parents are struggling with the conversations. And so that is where the Day Grandpop's music came from. And ironically, although the story is not written based on any real life scenario, the story is made up, but it is a variety of things that I've dealt with in real life. And my father happened to pass away when my daughter was 3 years old. So I actually lived this story out. I had to sit down with my then 3-year-old, she's 15 now, and have this
Mhm.
conversation with her about my dad. And it was complicated. And even though I was
Yeah.
a counselor at the time, I didn't really know what to say to my 3-year-old. I had to go look up stuff and talk to other counselors and say, hey, so I had to learn this as a parent myself. And now I'm helping other parents and other children and counselors and whomever is working with younger children through storytelling.
So can you tell us a little bit about the book?
Sure. So Tia and Nathan are my two characters, and Tia is, of course, because I have them in my head. Tia is
Hmm.
a first grader. Nathan is a kindergartner, and they are picked up from school, and they're told about their grandfather dying. But the story is an analogy on how to talk to a child because this happens every day. When we lose loved
Right.
ones, a lot of times children are picked up early from school, and it starts off with them being picked up in school, and the conversation happens at home, and it's around the dinner table. They're sitting on the floor with the children, and it's really mirroring how do you talk to younger children about grief. And it's intimidating. I think a lot of people want to hide death from children because we
Hmm.
think they can't handle the emotions, that we're not sure what to say. We're not sure how they're going to react to it. We don't know what to say, so we don't say anything at all. So the story really is about two parents, a mom and a dad, picking their children up, their son and their daughter from school, and having a conversation with them and reminding them about, what grief, how does it make your mind feel? How does it make your emotions feel? What does it do to your body? And then in the end, because I am a therapist, I have an author's note for parents about do's and don'ts, because I do think that there are some things that we
Mm.
should do, like let the
Okay.
school know, notify the school counselor, because
Right.
when children come back to school, they're in a nurse's office. They are
Right.
not feeling well. They can't concentrate in class. And if nobody knows that there's been a death, then we don't know how to support them as school staff. So I think it's important for people to understand how grief affects children, even to be more mindful, because there's times where
Yeah.
kids will come in and they're sad and you're like, what happened? They're like, oh, it happened. It's happened to me this school year. Somebody's dad died. And
Yeah.
nobody notified the school, and so they're at school having a grief reaction, and we just weren't
Mm.
aware. So it's very important for parents to, make the schools aware so that we can always
Absolutely.
help your child.
So, Anisha, I have a question for you. So, years ago, when my daughter, she was about 5 or 6, and so we had a family member who was a little older. She was about 12, who she saw and played with, over the years, and she died in a house fire. And we didn't allow my daughter to go to the funeral. We just felt like she wouldn't be able to handle that. And so, like a year or so went by, and she was like, I want to see Andy, which was my little relative's name, my 12-year-old relative. And she was like, I want to see Andy. Can we go see Andy? It's been a while. And so at that point, we were like, do we tell her Andy's no longer with us? Because she didn't go
Mm.
to the funeral. And we didn't tell her that she was dead, because she may have seen Andy like twice a year. But when she saw her, it was, Andy doted on her. So that was a really hard thing. So in a situation like that, when you don't tell a child that someone has passed on, and you end up telling them a year or two later, what do you say? How do you handle that?
Yeah, so one of the things that I encourage people to do is to be honest with children and to explain to them. And again, children do have the ability to understand. They're a lot sharper than we may think that they are. They're intuitive, they understand things. So I do think that, saying something simple, like in this book, the example is that grandpa's body stopped working, and he can't hear, he can't see, smell. We won't see him, we can't talk to him because kids are literal. And so, I remember when my dad passed away, I told my daughter that she wasn't going to see my dad anymore. And then she said, okay, well, can we call him? Right. Because to her,
Oh,
seeing
Mhm.
and
yeah.
hearing, they're two different senses. Whereas an adult
Right.
knows that, oh, you're not going to see him anymore. We know that
Mhm.
means all of it. But for children, they're literal. So it's like, okay, well, I can't see him, but can I talk to him on the phone? And I was like, okay, I think I need to figure out what to say. So I think not telling children, sometimes they are upset, they're frustrated, also making up stories and saying, oh, well, they're away at school. I mean, people make up stories. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, you froze a little
Okay.
bit.
I look like I'm frozen on the screen, but okay, I'm still there. People make up stories. They say stuff that's not true, and they are trying to figure out, what else can I say? But it's like, be honest. Keep
Yeah.
Mhm.
it short, keep it simple. But kids do have the ability to understand, and they can, they
Yeah.
can handle the little bit of truth that we tell them. It's important to be short, sweet, and to the point. We don't want to overshare, because they
Mhm.
can't handle it. We don't want to say things like, oh, such and such went to sleep, because then they get afraid when you say you're going to sleep. Are you going to disappear? So it's
Right.
complicated. It's complicated. And these are not things that these are things that you have to learn. I didn't
Yeah.
know. And I was a therapist, and I didn't know what to say to my 3-year-old. So my
Right.
hopes is that when people read this book, it's educating them and letting them know, hey, here's a way to keep it short and simple. But you should have the conversation. I think avoiding it, hiding it, telling them a year later is not ideal.
Yeah.
And what's age appropriate for your book? Is it as early as 3 or
I would say as early as 3. I know some people like to
okay.
read to their children, so I feel like,
Mhm.
you could read it to a 2-year-old. They might not understand yet, but they can look at the pictures. However, for understanding, I would say 3 to 8 years old.
Okay.
3 to
Okay.
8-year old. So this is definitely for the younger children. And the
Okay.
hopes from the book is not to just read the book. After reading the book, the hope is that people will begin to engage in conversations about grief and feel more comfortable. Because after the book, of course, there's going to be questions. Kids might
Right.
say, oh, well, I miss grandpop too, or I miss, grandmom too. So the hopes is that people will become more comfortable talking about grief and not feel overwhelmed and just keep it simple. And I think that
Right.
storytelling takes the parent out of the spotlight of trying to figure out the conversation. I'm giving you a
Mhm.
tool. You can read it to them, and then, try to answer the questions again, keeping it short, and just for the kids to learn too what grief does to their body, because they don't know that. They don't realize that not being able to fall asleep, or wanting to eat more or less food, not being able to focus in school. A lot of times,
Mhm.
children don't realize that that's what grief looks like. They don't
Right.
understand the connection. All they know is
Right.
they're sad, and now, their things are feeling weird. They may not recognize that that's how grief shows up in their body. So
Yeah.
hopefully the children and the parents are learning about grief together, and it's taking the stigma out of the conversation and the fear about talking to children about death out of the conversation.
Mm.
And you know, in the schools as well, right? Eli, you work in the schools, so a lot of the teachers, administrators may think that a child's just acting out and not realizing that
Yeah.
that child is grieving, right? So, you know, it shows up at home as well as the schools too.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Anika, where can people purchase the book?
So you can find The Day Grandpop's Music Stopped on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. It will be an ebook probably in about 2 to 3 weeks. And then
Okay.
eventually it's going to go into an audiobook. But it is available now. I will be doing a book tour. I'm starting in Chester. I'm starting at home on November the 30th from 11:30 to 1:30 at the J. Crozier Library. And then I will be making appearances at different libraries throughout 2025.
Okay.
But they can get it. It's available now on Amazon. And I am encouraging parents, teachers, counselors, grandparents,
Yeah.
godparents. Like death is a universal concept. And even if it's not this in this story, it's a grandfather, but it can be translated to any loss that a child has.
Yeah.
I
Right.
people to buy it because it's a conversation that we're all going to have with a child at some point.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Are you thinking about getting into some of the schools and perhaps maybe reading to some of the students?
I am. Of course, I'm starting in Capital
Okay.
School District where I work, and I'm working on that. I'm going to be
Okay.
going to Philadelphia in February for Black History Month. And yes, I am working on making some connections with school districts, with
Okay,
hospitals,
good.
any place that serves children, daycare centers. I've had
Right.
daycare contacts that I'm working on. So yes, any place where young children are and where parents are, I am looking forward to sharing.
Well, Anitra, let's talk because I'm sort of a big deal in my job, so I can make some things happen if you want to come to Head Start and Warrington
Yes,
Head
I would
Start. We
love
can
to
make
come to
something
Head
happen.
Start. I would love to come
Yes,
to Head Start. And
please.
I would love to talk to parents too. Of course, I love to talk to staff, but I think
Right.
that parents being a part of it some kind of way, I don't care know if they're zooming in
Right.
or if it's a parent event, because it really is, I think it's helpful for parents to have this information as well as the adults, because most of the time they're the ones that have to deliver these hard conversations first.
Right.
And I think that it, is definitely something that I think parents should know about. But I would love to come. I would
Yes.
love.
Well, I'll get your info from Shay. I think I have your social media, but I'll get your info from Shay and we can connect. Make something
Okay.
happen.
Anitra, I want to read some of the comments. So Miss Lacey, hi Miss Lacey, thank you
Hi,
for
Miss
tuning in.
Lacey.
Miss Lacey says, well, she said, hey, Anitra, but she has a couple other comments here. She said, we have to support the organizations that are stepping in the gap. And she also says, this is good. Some adults don't know how grief works. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
A
It
lot
is
of
good. I
adults
think I
don't know.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, is it Litress?
Leatrice Burris.
Litress? Yes.
Leatrice Burris.
She says this type of book is needed to deal with children's emotions about death. Absolutely.
Yes.
Anitra, are you planning on doing like a series of this for the next age bracket or any thoughts on that?
Did we lose her?
Did we lose her?
Device not connected. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right, guys. Well, thank you to Miss Anitra Green for the book and also for her time on the show.
Yes.
Please reach out and
Absolutely. I'm
follow
gonna
her
connect
and
with
make
her.
sure you support. And we'll definitely get in contact with Anitra to connect her with Wilmington Head Start.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure. All right. Okay, guys. So we have some big news. Earlier yesterday is when we dropped it.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday we dropped something big on social media, and we definitely want to share with you. Did we get Anitra back? Okay, can we bring her back on? Anitra? Oh, okay.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, I can hear you.
I always have
dropped
another
out.
backup computer. You know how technology does.
Sis
Always
on
be
it.
ready is what they say. So I'm sorry. I heard you talking. I saw an issue happening, and I logged into my second.
It's okay. It's okay. I just wanted to I was just reading the comments from the people that had chimed in. But I was just letting just I was asking you, are you planning on doing a series? Are you going to do a one for maybe the older kids, or you haven't considered that yet?
You know what? I actually didn't think about the older children. My actual
Uh-huh.
plan for my next book is to write a book for children with incarcerated parents, for younger children. So I'm kind of in this younger children's, which is weird
Got
because
you.
I'm
Okay.
I'm
That's going to be
I'm
needed too.
teenagers are my favorite population, but I'm trying to do a grief series for younger children on topics
Okay.
that I feel like are under discussed. And I do feel like
Right.
having a parent that's incarcerated is a form of grief and it's not really discussed
Mhm.
a lot. So my next book is actually, I'm planning to write about that, about young children having incarcerated parents, and
Nice.
just they have parents, but their parents are absent, and it's a different grief journey. But I am considering doing a journal because I do understand the older kids. But right now I'm kind of
Okay.
in the mental mindset of supporting young children. So I
Yeah.
will be, that is my next that's near and dear to my heart, and I know that the need is there.
Okay. All
Awesome.
right.
Very proud of you, Anitra. Thank you for
Thank you
doing the
so
Thank
work.
much. Thank you
you.
for having me. I'm
Seriously.
sorry about the tech
Yeah.
issue, and
No,
I'll
it's
be in touch.
okay.
Make sure you get my
Yes.
information so I can come to Wilmington Head Start. I would love to come.
Yes, please. I
And
will call you. We're gonna set it up.
can you
Okay.
say again where you can purchase this book again? Because
Sure.
you
So
had
you can,
dropped out. So
yeah, so you can find it on Amazon, or you can find it on Barnes and Nobles online. You can also go into a Barnes and Noble store and get your live copy. People have told me that they went to the store and got their hard copy.
nice.
And again, I will be making my tours. I have plans for Philly, Delaware, New Jersey, New York. I'm mapping it out. But in the
All right,
meantime, if
girl.
you are interested in having me to come to your school, to speak, to talk to parents, to buy books for your children at your schools, please get in contact. I am at TaylorMade on Facebook and TaylorMade BHS on Facebook, and I can be reached at info@TaylorMade BHS for email purposes.
Awesome. Thank you so much,
Thank
Thank
you.
Anitra.
you.
Thank you for your time. We appreciate you. Also, I just want to put
Thank you.
out there too. Just want to say thank you again to Anitra and TaylorMade for also purchasing a ticket to Rebirth
Thank
Live, which we're
you.
actually going to
Yes.
be giving
My
away.
pleasure.
Yes,
My
we're going to
pleasure.
be giving this ticket away to someone. So we thank you again for your support and best of luck to you. Best of luck to
Thank
you.
you. Thank you for having
You're
me.
welcome.
Have a
You're
good night.
welcome. Take care.
Bye-bye. All
All
right.
right, guys.
Very
Yes,
good.
yes.
This is needed.
This is needed very much so. So we have another guest that's going to be joining us in a minute. But before we go there, I just want to remind you guys that Rebirth Live and Uncut is coming October 26th. You can go to rebirthu.com and purchase your ticket. And I want to introduce one of the panelists that's going to be on.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Mr. Denzel. Listen, come on, bring him on in. Denzel Dixon, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm well.
Hey, welcome to the show,
Welcome.
brother.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
For sure.
Denzel, please tell the people a little bit about you. You're going to be one of the panelists that they are going to be in front of on October 26th.
Right.
So I'm very excited to have you. So yeah, can you share a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name is Denzel Dixon. As stated, I'm from Newark, Delaware. I'm also a recent graduate from Bethel College in May on Mother's Day, actually.
Okay. Congratulations, black man.
I appreciate it. I
Yes,
appreciate it.
sir.
But it's really not too much to me, man. I stay out the way. I love working out. I'm big on my faith. That's something that I always like to vocalize. God is an important part of my life. But other than that, man, I just same old every day. I go to work, I go to the gym, I come home, do my devotional, and I'm going to bed.
Hey, that's
I heard
good.
that.
That's good.
Make somebody a good husband one day. Good
Yeah.
qualities there, brother. How old are you? All
22.
right, all right.
So Denzel, I know that you are. So Denzel is a motivational speaker, right? So I just wanted him to kind of give a little bit of information as to like what type of events that you have been able to speak at and what we may see at the Rebirth Live.
And what's your message when you're speaking to, when you're speaking, doing public speaking?
So, well, to answer that question right there, my biggest message is just to basically find your why. and embrace that. I think that coming up, I didn't really have um, that person in my ear, like trying to help me develop into what I needed to do. It took until I got to college to really find out what like I wanted to do. That's really what drove my passion for motivational speaking, kind of stepping outside my comfort zone. And that's another thing that I like to emphasize is always try new things, because you might figure out that when you try something new and you're in a different community, then that's something that you were called to do. And that gives you a broader sense of, meeting with other people, working with other people, being able to be involved in different things. Like I did the school play in college my this last semester, and that's something that's way outside my comfort zone. But I was embracing a comfort zone for other people, so that really was something that was important to me, and I was able to make new friendships, make new connections, and really like just develop that piece on stage in front of people. And that's something that I need to develop if I want to be a successful motivational speaker. And to answer your question, Miss Shea, that it's just motivational speaking is something that I feel like everybody needs. And I like to really target middle school and high school, because that's the generation that is really seeking that guidance right now. And I feel like after my generation, I feel like things started to get a little wacky, and I just,
Right.
I want to keep them on the right track, and really like encourage them to try new things and not just do what the crowd does, because
Yes.
doing what the crowd does doesn't always get you where you need to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Earlier in the show, we were talking about what happened at the HBCU college
College fair.
fair. I'm
Yeah.
sure you've heard about all
I
of
really,
that.
I didn't. What happened?
You have not? Oh my
No.
goodness.
Uh,
Oh wow. Well, Eli, give him a
well,
short.
so really quick. So the short version of this is HBCU week happens here every October in the city of Wilmington.
Right.
And so one of the events that they have is a college fair. So all of our kids, it's black colleges, all the kids are there, and you get opportunity to go and do applications for colleges. You get opportunity to apply for scholarships. This, and that, right? So of course, it's only us in there. Us meaning kids that look like us, majority.
Right.
And there's a big brawl kids are fighting all over the
Mhm.
place, and it ruins the entire event.
Right.
So we were talking about that earlier, and how to, I guess, come together as a community and be better as parents, be
Mhm.
better as community leaders and people who are working with kids, and just trying to find solutions. So we kind of touched on that a little bit.
Right.
I thought everybody, because
Yeah,
it
man.
was a thing, man, but
It was
just terrible, man.
yeah.
Any thoughts that you could maybe lend to a situation like that?
Well, I think that's really the cause of, I feel like, especially young black men, feel like we always feel like we need to be in competition with each other. And
Mhm.
that's really not, that's not the case. Like, we should be working together. And I think
Mhm.
that's another thing that, we have to keep emphasizing and encouraging them, because they get into this mindset, well, they see somebody else doing well and now they're trying to take them down and
Right,
basically outdo them. But honestly, we can all get to that point and work together to get a head start, because it's supposed to be leading by example, but everybody
Right.
just wants to take control nowadays. But I mean, they really just need um they need action. You can tell a young man something like every second of the day, but that doesn't mean they're gonna follow through with it. But if they see somebody doing something and
Right.
right.
they're able to follow what they see, then that's what ingrains that in their mind. So it's really just leading by example.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. Our babies need to heal. These
Right.
these kids are operating from a place of trauma as well, and
Hmm.
they definitely need to heal, and definitely need that mentorship with, like young men like yourself, to get on the right track. Man, I'm so excited to have you on Rebirth Live and Uncut. And if you guys have not purchased your tickets yet, please go to rebirthyou.com. Denzel Dixon is going to be there, and we are excited to have him.
Yes.
Denzel, thank you so
Thank you,
much
brother.
for taking time out of
Mm.
your night to, jump on really quick. We appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you soon.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
All right.
All right, guys. Once again, Rebirth Live and Uncut is coming October 26th. Get your tickets at rebirthu.com. We got something we dropped yesterday.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Let's go to that real quick. Years ago,
Drop.
my life was turned upside down, and everything I knew, everything I thought I knew was tested. In my darkest moments, God whispered the word rebirth, and I realized my pain had a purpose. In 2013, I founded Rebirth U LLC with nothing but faith, trusting that my journey of healing would lead me somewhere greater. What started out as a 12-step class has grown into Rebirth Live, Rebirth Podcast, and Rebirth Meetup, events that are dedicated to helping others rebuild their lives. Along the way, God placed people in my life to carry out the vision. I'm so grateful for them. I never imagined this is where my path would lead, but every challenge was worth it. I'm just a girl from Violin, New Jersey, working to make an impact. And through it all, I've learned sometimes you have to die a little inside in order to be reborn.
Look at Rebirth.
Look at Rebirth. Look at God. How
Look at
about
God.
that?
How about
Look
that?
at God. That's right.
You want to hear something really funny?
What's that?
Because of my sense of direction is crazy right now.
You wait a minute before you say anything.
I'm not gonna
Do
give out no
not-
roads.
Oh, okay.
I just know
All
you was driving in the opposite direction of the billboard. That's what I put that out there. You ain't slick. I saw that. But no, listen, man. Stop playing around. Get those tickets. It's gonna be a grown and sexy affair. Rebirth Live and Uncut. Like, go on and grab those tickets. And if you can't make it, buy a ticket and donate it, man. We have people who may want to come
Absolutely.
that can't necessarily afford to spending money on a ticket. So listen, just be a good citizen. If you can't come and you know somebody can get something out of this event, then buy a ticket for somebody, man. We'd definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
RebirthU.com, the letter U.com.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And we still have sponsorships available, as well as I think we're down to only 2 vendor spots left. So if you want to get more information as how you could become a sponsor, again, go to rebirthu.com, and there is a lot that comes with your sponsorship. So we would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah.
So we have a contest going on, right? And
Yes.
the contest is Find Rebirth Billboard Contest. Now, I'm going to read the rules to you, okay? I gave away the first clue. Tomorrow, make sure you check the social media page, Rebirth U Podcast, for the second clue. So this is how you can participate. Find billboard. Keep an eye out for Rebirth Billboard in the designated location. Check our website or social media for hints on where to look. Snap a picture once you find a billboard. It could be a creative picture if you like. Tag us on Facebook or Instagram. Make sure you tag us at Rebirth U Podcast and use the hashtag Rebirth Billboard Contest. Spread the word. Encourage your friends to participate by sharing the posts. Okay. The contest is going to go from October 7th to October 14th. And this is for ages 21 and up. The winner will be selected, and it will be more than one winner. Okay. The winner will be selected. An announcement will be on October 21st. We will announce it right here on Rebirth U Podcast. The prize is 2 tickets to Rebirth Live and Uncut front row section. And you will also have a chance to do a meet and greet with the Rebirth crew, as well as the panel members. And you will also win a Rebirth hoodie. So the hint of where the billboard is. Look for a place where the highway hums and the harmony flows. You'll find our vibrant message at the crossroads.
Okay.
That's the hint, guys.
That's
now,
slick.
for those, you like that?
That's all right.
So look up while you're driving, okay? I will say this to narrow it down. The billboard is located in Newark, Delaware.
How about that?
So that's a little giveaway. So,
and if Shay just
what?
read a lot of directions off, so you can go to our social media and read everything she just said, because that was a lot of directions, Shay. A lot of little step 1s and 2s and 3s. It's on my social media and it's on the Rebirth social media. So if you want to read the directions again to get clarity, by all means do so and get these free tickets.
Yes, absolutely. And make sure you share it with your friends, family, have fun with it. A lot of people
Yeah.
have been sharing it. So
That's dope.
yeah,
Definitely
yeah.
appreciate you people out there that are supporting us, man. For the
Mhm.
people that we've supported over the years, I'm talking to you right now. Which camera is mine?
Here we
Little
go.
guy.
Here we
For the
go.
people that we've supported over the years. So listen, now's your time to pay it forward or to pay it back. How about that? To pay it back. We always have you guys when we're at the studio in Newark, even here now. People, hundreds of people have come through and talked about what their business, talked about their plays, talked about their movies, whatever you had going on, your practice, your mental health practices and all this stuff. Now pay it back, man. Come and support us. Come and be a part of the audience. And I'm gonna be in the audience with the mic. We're gonna have a good time.
Mhm.
Get those tickets, rebirthyou.com.
So I also want to give clarity too, because people that are new to Rebirth
Mm-hmm.
Live may not know what it's about,
Mhm.
right? So this is our fifth one, and we've sold out every event. Thank God for that. And basically, the goal is to normalize hard conversations in the Black and Brown community, to normalize mental health in the Black and Brown community. Those of you that do not know me personally, I am a mental health therapist, and that is my foundation. That is what is important to me, is making sure that we normalize mental health in the Black and Brown community. We're going to be talking about relationships.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be talking about just self love, loving
Right.
ourselves. We're actually going to be talking about dating. We have some people on the panel that are single, and they want to talk more about dating after 50 and what
Right.
that looks like. We have younger people that's on a panel like Denzel Dixon and Jen Fontel.
Yes. Great
Who
mixture
are
of
we have a
panelists.
great mixture. What else are we going to be addressing?
Man, for me, the main thing is just to hear all the different opinions about
Mhm.
the topics we're going to talk about. So that's always a pleasure to get the perspective of.
Yeah.
We're going to have 20, 30-year-old perspectives. We're going to have 50 plus perspectives. To me, that's the important part that bridges the gap for me.
Right.
And this is
Right.
how we learn from each other. This is definitely a learning environment. You're going to have a good time. And DJ
Mhm.
Tim Dog is going to be
DJ Tim
jamming.
Dog, yes.
And so it's going to be
Yeah.
food.
Yes.
Okay.
We have food.
I didn't want to
Yeah.
overtalk.
Yes, your ticket also includes food, and we have vendors that's going to be there. We have a networking portion.
Yes.
So the doors open at 6:30. So be there at 6:30 because this is your opportunity to network.
Yes.
We have so many people that come through: lawyers, judges, doctors, all people from all walks of life,
And they look like
usually come, and
us.
they look like us.
That is
and
a
that's
dope part.
It is. It's
We
the
need to talk more
beautiful
about
part
that
it.
too.
Yeah.
I think that we do a great job of highlighting prominent people in our community that may not ever get to light.
Right.
Everybody's not down with Mayor Pazicki. Everybody's not moving in certain circles to where they're going to be at events being honored. But I think we do a great job of shining a light on these people, and I am proud of that part.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
For sure. And the good thing is, you, like Eli said, he's going to be in the audience, so you get a chance to ask questions. You get to ask the panel questions. And last year we did an all male panel, and it was great. It was amazing.
Fellas always
the
represent.
fellas, yes. It was a great conversation, and the audience loved it because the men were very vulnerable and they were able to speak, without there no interruption,
Right.
and had a level of vulnerability, so we can get a clear understanding of our Black and brown men. So
Now let me tell you something exciting for me.
What?
Other than me, Turl will be in the building. My homeboy's flying in. Already got his ticket and everything. He's coming to the event. So it's gonna be more than one Arkansian in the building.
That's good.
So get ready for this country mess right here.
And also, what I've realized, that it's not just Delaware people. We have people coming in from Maryland, DC, Philadelphia, New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? So it's very exciting. And we're looking forward to it.
Got the Mid-Atlantic on lock.
Yeah. We're looking for a good time.
Yes.
For sure. Yeah. All right. So next week, we actually are going to have a few of the panel members on. So make sure you guys tune in. We're going to have the other hosts of the Rebirth Live and Uncut, Mr. Corey Wilkerson is going to be joining us on the couch, along with, I think, 3 or 4 of the panel members that's going to be on October 26th. So make sure you guys tune in. And also questions. If there is a specific question that you have that you want answered at the Rebirth Live, make sure you send me an email, or you can put it in one of the DMs on Instagram or Facebook. There was a question that came in today, actually. I wanted to see if let me see if we have enough time.
Let me shout out Corey Van, who shows up just about 90% of the Mondays. And our last event, he purchased, even though he lives in Texas, he purchased tickets to be donated.
He did.
So shout out to Corey Van. Corey Van said, get the strap. That was around the time we was talking about the kids. Yeah. I don't know if Corey Van mean the Thule or the belt. I'm not quite sure which one he's referring to. Probably need both of them nowadays.
You got to make sure you come one year, man. You got to come see us one year. Just take a trip out. We'll take you to dinner and everything.
For sure. My man.
He's been a great supporter. So for sure. We had a question that came in.
Okay.
And I wanted to kind of get your perspective on it. And we're also going to ask the panel on next week about what they thought. Someone wrote in that is actually going to be at the Rebirth Live.
Yes, pig feet are more tender than chitlins if they're cooked correctly.
I cannot.
That's my answer to this. If they're done right and cooked in onions, they're very tender.
We had someone write in, and I want to make sure I have the question up so I can answer it correctly. Let me see, where did I put it? She wanted to know how to deal with a coworker that is racist.
Wow.
I believe that was the question.
I'm saying I'm going straight to HR. I mean, if you have such a department, which most jobs do, I may even go to my supervisor immediately, directly, and if I don't get any results from that, then I'm going to go to HR. And me being a supervisor, I don't like when people skip the channels, so I'm going to say I'm going to go to my supervisor first and share some of my experiences with this person. And if this person is racist, they're racist with more than just me. I'm not the only black person working there. So I would say go to your supervisor first. If you don't feel like that person is effective or they didn't do anything, then I would go to HR. I mean, we should have to work under those, circumstances. It's 2024. Not saying there aren't any racist people in 2024, but we don't have to just deal with it. This is not 1964. This is not Jim Crow. So we don't have to deal with that shit. Like go to HR if your supervisor doesn't seem to be effective in curbing some of this behavior.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't fire a person for being racist, but we can fire you for the stuff you're saying.
Right.
If you're creating a hostile work environment, then I'll be on I know my HR stuff now.
There you go.
If you're creating a hostile work environment, I'm not HR, but I talk to HR a lot about stuff that be going on. I talk to them a lot about what be going on, so I have to get feedback before I get ready. So I would definitely go to my supervisor, then HR.
Okay.
If I feel like it's not effective.
All right. Perfect. Well, thank you for that. So continue to send your questions in. We will definitely answer your questions live. And again, if you have more questions, you can send it to info@rebirthlive@gmail.com. Sorry, y'all. I had to think about it.
I want you to put your glasses on when you're trying to read. That's what I want you to do.
rebirthlive@gmail.com. Send your questions in, or you can always just put it in the DM on Instagram or Facebook. Okay.
All right.
So once again, guys, thank you for tuning in tonight. We really appreciate you. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Tell somebody about the Rebirth podcast. We are here every Monday night at 7 p.m. Our mission is to normalize conversation in the Black and Brown community. We should be able to speak our truth without feeling judged and maybe, just feeling heard, right?
Absolutely.
So we hope to see you October 26th, rebirthu.com. Get your tickets. Until next week, have a blessed week. Good night. Your girl Shea, and I'm actually here at Theater and right now making sure we are preparing a wonderful night for you. October 26th at 6:30 p.m. I am personally inviting you to Rebirth Live and Uncut.
Rebirthu.com will guarantee that you're sitting here in this theater with us. Please come out. Go out and buy your tickets. October 26th. Doors open at 6:30. Rebirth Live podcast. We're going to have a great time. Music, people, fun, Good conversation. Go buy your tickets now.
Make sure you go to rebirthyou.com and secure your ticket.